Hello guys, welcome back to this tutorial. In the previous tutorial, we looked at the important methods which are related to the DML exception, and we made use of those methods which basically gave you extra information about the DML exception that occurred in our program. Now, in the account record, we only need one required field. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lead records. And in order to create a new lead, you need three required information. One is the last name, then you have this company, and then you have this lead status, which is already have a default value. So now what I'm going to do is I am going ahead and try to create three different lead records. So if I go back to my developer console here, and instead of creating a new account, I will create a new lead. So here I am going to say the first lead here. So I'm going to provide the last name. And the next field that is required is the company, right? So the second field that I'm going to provide is the company here. And here I can say the company name is YUO. That's the name of the company. Then I am trying to create another lead record called M2, and here I am only providing the last name. That is, I am only providing the one of the required fields value, and let's say the lead is John, and then I'm trying to create a third lead record. I'm only going to provide the company information. I'm not going to provide the last name. So here I'm going to only going to provide the company, and let's say the company is okay. This is the name of the company. And then I have the list that is creating to store the lead records. So I have a list here to store the lead records, and then I am adding each of these records to this list, and then I'm trying to insert the list here. So now this is only the valid record because you are providing both the required fields, the last name as well as the company information. This is not a valid record because you are only providing the last name. You are not providing the value for the company. Similarly, this is also not a valid record because you are only providing the company information and you are not providing any last name. So let's say we also create another lead record here called M4, and here I am not providing any required field. I am only providing the empty here, and I am adding this in the list here. So I am going ahead and add that record to this list, and I will call it as M4, and I am trying to insert all these four records. Now, out of these four records, only one of them is a valid. Rest of the three are invalid records because the required information is missing. So this get num DML, what it's going to return me? It is going to return me 3 here because 3 of them are invalid records. Then how many times this loop going to run? This loop is going to run 3 times. First for the index of 0, then for the index of 1, and then for the index of 2. So at the index of 0, the first record which is invalid is this particular record. And why is it invalid? Because the company information is missing. So what this will return? This will return you company. The message will be saying that, hey, this particular required field is missing, which is the company field. Then it will run for the index of 1. Now which setting record is invalid? This is the one which is invalid. Now why this is invalid? Which field is responsible for it? The field is the last name. So the last name is missing. That's why we are going to second error here. And what is the message? It will say that, hey, this required field called last name is missing. Then this loop is going to run for the third time for the index of 2. And for the index of 2, this particular record, and what is the reason for the failure? Both the required fields are missing. Which one is company name and the last name? So this is going to give you an error here. And then you have the DML message, which is going to tell you that, hey, 2 of the required fields are missing. So now let's go ahead and execute this program and see if the output matches of what we planned now. So if you go to the debug only here, and if I open this, and you can see here, this is a valid record, this is not a valid record, this is also not valid, and this is also not a valid record. So how many records are invalid? 3. So if you see here, you can see that this particular get num is returning you 3 because 3 of them are invalid. It is going to go ahead and run the loop here. And how many this loop is going to return? It will run for the 3 times because it will run for num errors, which is equals to 3. So the first record, which is invalid because of the which field is missing? The company. So which field is missing here? Company is missing. So you can say here it display company, and then it has a message required fields are missing, which is company. Then it will run for the second time, and for the second record, which field is missing? This particular field is missing. Actually, last name is missing. So it is going to say last name is missing. Then it is going to run for the third time. And this time for this particular record is invalid. Which fields are missing? Last name and company name. So that's why it says last name and company name are missing. So these are some of the very important methods which are related to the DML exception. So I hope with this example, things got very much clear. Now you know what each of the method is doing and what is the result for each of the methods. So let's meet in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good day. Bye.